Welcome to the podcast from the St. Louis Sportists, an occasionally smart, always irreverent look at sports in St. Louis and beyond. And now, your St. Louis Sportists.
Hello and welcome to the podcast from the St. Louis Sportists. Joined by Joe Sperlin.
Hey, good to be here in the ABA night.
It is Ava again. And Doug Lansdowne.
Yeah, good evening. 3 guys, 3 letters.
My name is Ron Cook, and in this edition, the Illini and their itches, hey, don't come after me, that was Kevin Harlan, are headed to the Final Four. Duke gets a reverse Laettner. Can anybody stop Michigan? And oh yeah, Arizona's in there too. Your St. Louis Cardinals get off to an interesting start. Maybe they'll at least be fun to watch. And it's March, so the Blues must be making yet another unlikely playoff run. The St. Louis Sportists are brought to you by First Coast Steel Buildings. Jason and his team will take your project from design to completion with a family-first approach. Learn more at 1stcoaststeel.com, and we'll hear more from them later in the show. And tonight's last call is brought to you by Black Dog Consulting, LLC, here to help the one-truck owner and the small fleet owner to grow and prosper. Contact Dave at 417-217-9622. Black Dog Consulting, helping you retrieve bigger profits. If you have a minute to give us a like or a review, and if you could also subscribe and follow our podcast, man, that helps us out a lot. We're on X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. And you can watch all of this inane madness on YouTube at STL Sportists. Our website is stlsportists.com. And with that, let's go to Quick Hits. Joe Sperlin, what do you have?
Did you see the NFL coaches' annual league picture? It was missing 2 guys. Of course, Sean McVay again. And the best one was Todd Monken from the Browns, who missed the team picture because he was going to get a haircut for the team picture. So, as the story says, Cleveland still being Cleveland. Now, McVay, still, the Rams or McVay or no one has even made an announcement why he missed it. But the Browns was like, yeah, I was getting a haircut for the picture.
I wonder if he used Mark Davis's barber.
Yeah. That was a pretty clean haircut, so who knows?
Allegedly, Mark Davis takes a plane flight to a barber that has been cutting his hair for like years and years and years. I can't make this up. There's one guy somewhere that knows how to cut his hair, and he like literally takes a flight to get his hair cut.
Hey, there's probably not very many people that could do a bad haircut like that.
Yeah. You know, it's like the person that does that is probably saying to him, now, please don't tell anyone else that I do this, okay?
Yeah.
Doug, what do you have?
Don't know if you saw it late this afternoon, but the judge granted Tiger an opportunity to go overseas to get comprehensive, immediate treatment. So, I don't know. You got to go overseas to get, I don't know. It's just sad. It is sad.
I went to to a movie that the 3 of us have watched. I'm going to say that conservatively, the 3 of us have each watched it more than 10 times, and that's A Few Good Men. And when they said comprehensive training, it made me think of when Tom Cruise asks Nicholson, grave danger, and Nicholson says, is there any other kind?
Yeah.
And I'm like, would you want any other treatment than comprehensive treatment? Really? Was that necessary?
Urgent.
Comprehensive.
Yeah.
And we're not, and I don't mean to sound like we're belittling Tiger's situation, and to anyone struggling with anything like this, you know, our hearts are with you, but oh my goodness, let's hope it's comprehensive. let's just hope it's comprehensive. Well, let's go back to Mr. Davis, specifically Vegas. We used to think growing up it was a big deal when a city had the four sports: hockey, basketball, football, and baseball. And there weren't that many of those, There's more now because places like Denver, when we were growing up, Denver had football and basketball. And of course, now they've got everything. But a new member of that club here in just a couple years is going to be Vegas. And not only that, but it was announced this week that Vegas is getting the 2029 Super Bowl, which will be their second Super Bowl, Joe Sperlin. And I know this is near and dear to your heart because I think you get mail out there for a period of time during the year.
At one time I did, not anymore.
Yeah. Did you have a dedicated room at the MGM, or like a wing or something?
Just one room, just a small room.
I'm envisioning the Mike Tyson room in The Hangover. But so Vegas will have their second Super Bowl in 5 years. The good folks at the Sports Business Daily podcast said they are now officially in the Super Bowl rotation. I keep thinking about how Jerry and Stan Kroenke can't be happy that all of these new places are going to be pushing their venues, farther into the rotation as it goes. So 10 years ago, Vegas had no pro teams, and now they have the Golden Knights for hockey. They have the Raiders. It was announced 2 weeks ago that they're going to get an NBA expansion team, and allegedly the A's will be there. That'll make them a 4-team market. Now, you might be saying to yourself, how big is Vegas exactly? Well, I looked it up. They are the 25th largest metropolitan area in the USA, 2.7 million people. We are the St. Louis Sportists. St. Louis is the 21st largest metro, 2.88 million people. We have the Cardinals and the Blues. And City and the Battlehawks, but hey.
And the NFL also was it about 10 years ago when they wouldn't let Tony Romo go to the, was it a sports fantasy convention? Something about representing some fantasy league out there in Vegas, that they said, you can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I was out there for a trade show. I want to say this was 2007, 8-ish, around in there, when they had the NBA All-Star game, and it was an absolute disaster. Yes. And the cab drivers, it was pre-Uber, and I would just get in the cab. I'm like, so tell me your NBA All-Star game story. And everyone would have like some crazy thing. Like, I had these people come jump in my cab that had just dined and dashed, and they just told me to go as fast as I could west. And then they told me the story about someone throwing someone off the top of a balcony of a hotel. And that basically Steve Wynn, got on the phone to the NBA commissioner, which I guess would have been Stern at the time, and just said, get a hold of this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of stories about the NBA All-Star game out there.
Yeah. They said that they said that there were a large group of people that just didn't pay for their food. And if anyone started to say, hey, they would just show them a firearm in their waistband. Yep. And that was it. Okay. Yeah. So, but back to, we have our Blues, we have our Battlehawks, we have our Cardinals, and we have the Fighting Illini of Illinois, Doug, who are going to play in the Final Four this weekend.
They look good. They've been really for about a month now. They have played really, really well. There's a good story on that freshman too, Wagler. How does Kansas let him get out from underneath them and go to Illinois?
He was a CBS Sports first team All-American today, I saw.
Yeah. A good story about him. And he comes from a basketball family. His parents played at Hutch, and his grandpa ran the JUCO tournament forever out there, the National JUCO tournament in Hutch. So probably that kid could play. I mean, Underwood did a good job. So while he was scouring the world, literally looking for some dudes, he found a dude in Kansas.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, he goes overseas. He goes into all the Baltic republics, and he finds a kid one state over.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and Joe, they're winning by solid margins. They're not exactly squeaking by in these games. It's not like it's coming down to a last shot.
No, I think defensively, I think they've played a little tougher than what we saw at the end of the year there. And as I said, I believe the Sportists was a group that said, "Hey, look out for Illinois." I think there were several of us that said that, but yeah, I think they're playing right at this time of year, and I think they got a good matchup with UConn.
Yeah, with Coach Hurley headbutting officials or whatever the hell that was. I saw that, Doug, we've talked all year about how well Illinois can shoot. I saw they're leading the nation in something called adjusted offensive efficiency, whatever the hell that is. I just think they can shoot from the outside.
And you know what? When they miss it, they go rebound the damn thing and put it back in.
Yeah.
I mean, for somebody to shoot that good offensively and to rebound it that well offensively, I mean, they are a load. And, UConn either steamrolls after what happened, or I think they're flat-footed and Illinois puts it on them.
I think I believe they talked about Illinois, that there's always one guy Illinois has that can't shoot threes, and he is a rebounding machine. That they've got someone, and you look, a lot of times teams nowadays have 5 guys out on the 3-point line. I mean, it's like Alabama. That was either in the paint or it was like an NBA deal. But Illinois has got 2 dudes in there rebounding most of the time. You're right.
Yeah, second chance points will win games.
Yep.
As far as other storylines in the tournament this week, I just said in our chat when it happened, Laettner 2.0. That was a heck of a finish there, Doug. My goodness.
Yeah, and people, they're going to second guess that like crazy. Why didn't that kid just hold the ball? Well, guess what? UConn wasn't catching up with those guys. The kid it doesn't matter if it's 4th grade girls or that level. For some reason, they think they can throw it over the top of somebody, and they're staring right into them, and they come flying up, and every time, that's the pass they steal, is when they try to throw it over the top of them. So it was the right pass. It was the right play to make. He threw the wrong pass. So
bounce pass, and we're not having this conversation.
Or ball fake.
Yeah.
Ball fake. Yeah. Yeah, they just it doesn't matter. They try to throw over the top. So I've got a few lines that we won't use on here about the only thing you can do, 2 hands over your head. But we'll save that for a different version.
That's for our premium version, folks. That's coming soon. Joe, I'm seeing some people say that John Shire's having some difficulty in March. Of course, if you want to go back to how his predecessor started out when he was losing 20 games for his first couple years, you might say first world problems for Duke.
It was just he had that look at the end like he could almost see it coming. I mean, it was the end of the game. It was almost like we're going to find a way to mess this up. And by golly,
I bet North Carolina would like to hire him right now.
Oh yeah,
in a heartbeat. Well, and Doug, it's interesting you say that. We had some late breaking news today that Bill Self will return to the Kansas Jayhawks. So we, when we were talking last week, we said it was possible there were going to be 2 marquee positions open. So right now it is, one as we see it, which is, of course, North Carolina. Have either of you heard anything, any hot leads on what they're looking at in North Carolina?
Nope. I think they'll wait till the tourney's over and make a run. I think they're going to make a run at Dusty May. I think that's who they go after. But, poor Bill Self, he looked like, that last month of the season, he looked like Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's.
Yes.
I mean, he looked bad. Ooh.
Well, it's like we said last week. If you have, Dickinson and Peterson, in 2 consecutive years, that can make you, that's enough to make you question your profession.
Yes, it will.
You mentioned the coach at Michigan. One of his best friends is a guy named Josh Schertz, who happens to coach the Billikens of St. Louis. And Billiken fans were feeling great, Joe. They're like, oh my gosh, we've extended him for all these years. We've got him, all covered up. And then all of a sudden, Saturday afternoon, you start seeing these very disturbing things on social media that Josh Schertz is interviewing with North Carolina State, and he's not denying it. And there was both smoke and fire there. Is this just more yet another sign of where we are in college athletics these days?
Oh, I think you get a guy that is going to check and see what's out there, see a position if that's what he's interested in. I always like when these guys say it's a dream job of theirs. And, sometimes that dream job turns into a nightmare, but it may be I want to go to the ACC, and, I think it's just testing the water, see how it is.
You're out there looking for things that are more attractive.
Yeah.
Sometimes that doesn't always work out. I speak from experience on that as well. So, sometimes it doesn't work out.
And that's exactly what it is. It didn't work out. So, I mean, you go back to where you're at or something like, I took that job and it didn't work out for whatever reason.
I heard one of the St. Louis folks up here, one of the media people, say it was probably more like Schertz interviewing NC State, kind of like, okay, what's my NIL? What are my facilities? How much do I get for my assistants? And then at the end, okay, thank you very much. I'll get back to you. Kind of like reverse job interview. But, you do think, and as I heard one Billiken fan say, Doug, that if Schertz continues to perform at this level, that little story is going to end differently one of these days.
Oh, there's no way. Yeah. Yeah, there's no way. So, I think there'll be another hire or two here or there, but still the most surprising thing to me was Ben Jacobson going to Utah State.
Yeah, did not see that coming.
I mean, when we sent that out, I thought there's no way in hell that's right. But
now, don't forget, Utah State is in the Pac-12 now.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know what to make of the Pac-12 anymore.
Well, when I saw that, I go, why would he go to Utah State? Well, they're in the Pac-12. I don't know why they don't call it the new Pac-12. The gal that was at Drury, who went to Lindenwood, went to New Mexico, and I asked Pendergrass, I said, is New Mexico in the new Pac-12? And we could not decide, and we decided that they were not. So we still haven't checked, but we thought New Mexico was still staying in the Mountain West.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, it's hard
to believe that Utah State is in the Pac-12. The Conference of Champions.
Yeah. Coach Wooden, Coach Wooden's in the Big Ten right now.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting. With that, folks, it is time for a special trip to Blue Horseshoe's Corner. It's the Final Four edition. Only two games this week, and to take us through them, Blue Horseshoe himself, Joe Sperlin.
Michigan started out as an underdog, 1.5, and now they are favored by 1.5. I think there's a lot of people liking the Michigan, how good they've looked, and I think Arizona is the one getting not a lot of respect, but the Michigan, when it started, that was my team to win it all. And then Illinois is -2.5. And I think that's been pretty consistent. So who do you guys like?
I like Arizona to win outright. And I like Illinois to win and cover.
Ron, what do you think?
I agree on Illinois win and cover, but I am going to go Michigan. And I do see a tight game, coin toss there on the spread. I'll take them to cover too. Give me Michigan. And I know, okay, so they came back, they wouldn't be covering, so I'd be taking the favorite there, right?
Well, and the thing about Michigan, if they get up about 8 or 10 on you, if you panic, next thing you know, you're down 15 and the game is over. So
I think Michigan is the most athletic team I've seen. And Doug, you watch more basketball than me, but they just seem tall and fast and just athletic.
And Joe's right. They get that 6, 7, 8 point lead. I mean, they put you in a headlock and waller you to the ground. I mean, it's over. Yeah.
Yeah. So Ron, if any of you people partake in those wagering, the unders, second half unders in Lucas Oil Stadium is 16-1. The unders. Now second half.
Oh.
Okay. Now they talk about having in those stadiums that the unders, but in this case in Lucas Oil Stadium, the second half unders. Now that could be coach's adjustments. UConn is 17-1 against the spread. The only team they did not here in the past since 23. So would that be the years that they won it? Ever since they won it, the first time. The only team that beat them against the spread was Furman, and Hurley is 10-0 against the spread from the 16 or the Sweet 16 and on.
Interesting.
And my favorite is when you get stuff like this. Underwood, when you give him time to prep, meaning the no back-to-back in the tournaments, is 9-3 against the spread. And if the total is over 150, go with the under. It's 3-0, so that would be Michigan and Alabama. But probably my favorite stat is no school west of Texas has won the tournament since 1997. Would we know who that was in 97? Who was that in 97?
Lute Olson.
That was
getting
Arizona.
ready to say, I thought it was Arizona. Yeah.
Miles Simon. Mike Bibby.
Yep.
Mike Bibby,
Yep.
point guard.
That was the famous Billy Packer Simon Says championship.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you partake any of that sports wagering, there is some information. Remember, that is for entertainment purposes only.
Yes, we would like to remind you that every visit to Blue Horseshoe's Corner is for entertainment purposes only and should not be the basis of any actual wager. If you believe you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. By the way, Joe, it came out today that once again the Missouri sports betting concerns did not make a profit. They're still trying to recoup all those hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars they gave away in teasers, here to get started.
Well, as much advertising as they're doing, and then the money they're giving it away. I mean, Missouri wasn't the first state to approve this, so they knew how to set the, how can we say, the deal for them to make a lot of money without paying a lot of it out. So,
yeah, well, we can only hope that they survive as businesses. We hope they scrape by.
I think they'll come out ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
I like their business. I like their business model. I think they come out ahead.
It seems proven.
As I like to say, whatever little money income they're getting revenue off it is more than what they had. So I may have mentioned this. My favorite thing was lottery money, Doug. You always heard that they went to education. I never once ever heard a school say, "Hey, we got this because of the lottery money."
Yep. Exactly.
Never
Well,
once.
up here, we talk about when they had casino gaming in like 90 and 91 over in East St. Louis, that money was going to energize the city and just make East St. Louis this shining city on a hill. That hasn't quite happened.
A destination city.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll root for them. Speaking of rooting and cheering, Doug, I was there on opening day along with 47,000 of my closest friends watching your St. Louis Cardinals wallop the Tampa Bay Rays. J.J. Wetherholt began his trek as a folk legend on opening day.
And he scored the only 2 runs today. So through 6 games, it's been fun. I mean, I don't think you can cast judgment on anything other than the fact that Wetherholt is the real deal.
The thing is, you think he's probably going to get better.
He'll get a lot better. Yeah. Yeah, Yeah, like I said, through 6 games, I don't think you nitpick anything. I don't think you throw all your eggs in one basket. You just have to really enjoy how they've played.
And Doug, they're coming back. Just, like on opening day, there was kind of the groans going through the stadium, when they get down by 6 runs in that inning, like, oh, here we go again, just like last year. And then lo and behold, they come out and get them all back plus some.
Yeah, they've been, like I said, it's been fun. Of course, Tampa Bay thumped up on the one game, but I mean, the last 2 games against the Mets, pitching has been solid. So that was, my biggest concern. I noted that early, a few weeks ago. I'm worried about the starting pitching, but so far they've been solid.
Joe, Jordan Walker and Victor Scott, 2 of the guys that did not necessarily fare well in our predictions, are off to like shockingly good starts. Jordan Walker hit a 2-strike home run on Sunday, a 3-run home run with 2 strikes on Sunday. Unbelievable.
Yeah, there you go. Just got a little positivity and get them out there playing. And like you said, good things are going to happen. We'll see.
We will. The bullpen, it's kind of funny looking back at our question of who was going to close. I'm not sure that Ali Marmal knows on any day he goes to the stadium who's going to close.
No, he doesn't. But that may be okay.
Could it be that old baseball deal of where they always say, hey, how you feeling today?
Yep.
And I feel good. No, really. I really want to know how you're feeling today.
This is the 3rd week in a row we get to say it, Doug. No assigned roles. One of the things, Joe Sperlin, MLB a correspondent at large, one of the things that has taken the league in baseball and, dare I say, sports by storm is the automated ball strike. And how the fans are getting into it. Everyone's getting into it. I think people love it unless your name is CB Bucknor.
Yeah, that guy has had a bad week.
Oh.
Yeah. The Reds game was amazing how loud the fans were.
Yeah.
On those 2.
They said that they were louder on the overturned calls than they were the home run.
Yeah. And when it was like the second one, you could just hear him. It was the yell of, we're getting cheated. He's trying to cheat us.
No, it's crazy. And today, for only the second time, Matthew Liberatore challenged a pitch. We talked about when pitchers would they said he was only the second pitcher to challenge a pitch. And of course, he missed it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if pitchers would be good people to judge on that. Cause I if it's not the catcher, I don't want my pitcher making that decision.
Probably not. As a former pitcher, no, I will say no.
Yeah.
And we put in the chat today, how long until a game ends on an ABS call? And then, Joe, within 3 hours, you send a tweet that today's Oriole game ended on an ABS call.
There it went. They had it, and the catcher called it, and the catcher was walking to the mound because he knew it was going to get overruled. And it was like he had his, how they take their mask off and start to put it, and they had his hand out when they made the change. And it was like, yep, there it is. As he had that smirk on his face as he was, it was kind of like, I told you. So,
Doug, one of the things, The Athletic had a story that I thought was fantastically interesting. We always talk about our old friend, unexpected consequences. And they talked to former umpires. They talked to Jim Joyce. They talked to Joe West. And they said that the one thing that is pretty impossible to deny is this is shrinking the strike zone. And one of them, I forget which, said, when they're telling you a pitch that is 1/16 of an inch outside is a ball, that is shrinking the strike zone.
That's true. Yeah. That's very true. I hadn't thought about that. So I'm with Joe, though. I think if anybody's going to challenge it, it's got to be the catcher.
Yeah. So this could actually indirectly help offense if the hitters know that, hey, you got to basically groove one here if you want to get it called a strike.
Would Greg Maddux have been the Hall of Fame pitcher that he was, hitting the corners, if he was going to get things called all the time? Because, it was
point.
umpires was like, well, this is Greg Maddux. He's going to get that call right there.
Yeah. 3 inches outside was an absolute strike. That was called for him like a pitch down the middle for other people. The Royals owner issued a word salad saying that there's 3 sites still available and that he feels a sense of urgency, which was a blinding flash of the obvious, considering they're going to play somewhere different in about 5 years. They are apparently looking at north of Kansas City and Clay County or downtown. It seems like they want to go downtown.
They want to go downtown, but it is not a fit.
Doesn't seem like it. From a real estate standpoint, from a lot of things, it just does not seem like it's going to work. It just doesn't seem like it's going to work. And I did see that Jackson County is starting to come up with different uses for the Truman Sports Complex, which is Arrowhead and where Kauffman Stadium is now. So I don't know if that's kind of your end of an era moment right there.
Car
Joe,
show?
anything else catching your eye?
Yeah, Doug, exactly.
Are they having a car show there or truck and tractor pull?
I was going to say truck pulls, tractor pulls.
One word, amphitheater. I don't know.
They always used to have the Doug, what was that in Kemper Arena back in the day? The rodeo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which
Ron,
is
you were
actually
saying-
what the team is named for.
Yeah.
True.
That talking about major leagues, that pitcher from the Pirates that had a rough opening day start. They're probably not going to send him down. He ended up 5 innings, 1 run, and 5 Ks.
Yeah, but he was not happy when they took him out.
No, he was not.
No.
And then Chris Sale pitched as sick as a dog, gave up 1 base runner in 6 innings.
He had the Michael Jordan flu game.
Yeah, flu game.
Back to our friend Mr. Skeens in Pittsburgh. It came out that apparently the Yankees offered a number of top prospects to the Pirates at the trade deadline last year. And surprisingly, the Pirates hung on to him.
Hey, Pirates said, you'll end up getting him here in a couple years anyway. So
you're going to get him anyway.
Yeah.
Let us enjoy him for a couple years, okay?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, with that, we have reached the halfway point in this episode of the St. Louis Sportists Podcast, and it's time to hear from the good folks at First Coast Steel Buildings in Sandra Sempeloff. After the break, the St. Louis Blues. It's March. The Blues are doing silly things. We'll talk a little bit more Tiger. We'll briefly take a look at St. Louis City and lots of happenings in the NFL. All this and more when we come back.
Spring storm and tornado season has arrived. Are you prepared? Why not build a new steel barndominium or outbuilding that will have you ready to weather the storms? Do you want your next home or building to be engineered for the proper wind loads for your area? Then look no further than First Coast Steel Buildings. First Coast Steel offers excellent material value and can help to reduce your insurance costs. And they can help you with your needs right here in the Midwest, where we see tornadoes and flooding, along with infestations of mold, rodents, and termites. Let First Coast Steel design your next building project and keep you and your family safe. Call 912-314-4848 or get inspired and design your own by visiting them online at 1stcoaststeel.com. Storms will happen. Prepare yourself with a new First Coast Steel building. Discounts for military and first responders.
And we are back on the St. Louis Sportists Podcast, along with Joe Sperlin and Doug Lansdowne. My name is Ron Cook, and show the St. Louis Blues. If it's March, they're making one of those stupid runs. One of the things that they're 31-31 and 11. They're 7th in the Central. Doug, one of the things you put regularly, you question the Money Puck playoff odds. Right now they're at 5.2, which is up from 1.2. But before the crushing loss to San Jose a couple nights ago, it was up to 12.7. So they are still within what I would call, since this is the All Ava episode, shouting distance. They're within shouting distance of a playoff spot, but they pretty much can't lose a game. And they're playing right now as we record this on Wednesday against the Los Angeles Kings. And I can't get a score because they're showing a Valvoline commercial. Joe, good news. Your friend Jimmy Snoogerud, NHL Rookie of the Month.
Hey, he's the one that single-handedly got him up to 12 there for a while, wasn't he?
He was scoring like left and right there for a while. He had like a scoring streak. And then, I'll tell you, if you're buying a St. Louis Blues sweater or jersey, as they, take your pick, that's a good one to buy and hold. With that, we'll go to the National Football League. Joe Sperlin, everyone wants to know who's getting hard knocks. Seattle, the Seahawks are going to get hard knocks. Is there anyone there we care about? Are we going to really get invested in Sam Darnold?
Probably find out that, boy, Sam Darnold's not a very cool dude is probably what you'll find out. He's not that NFL quarterback guy, but I'm not for sure if teams pick that or get told they're the hard knock team nowadays. I think that has worn off big time.
It's almost like we passed peak hard knocks,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really ran its course, honestly.
And there were some good moments. I mean, I will never forget, Jeff Fisher's famous 7 and 9 diatribe. I thought the one with Gruden when he was coming back to the Raiders was excellent. Yes. When he was like chastising the guy, you don't know who that is. And Joe the Snack is forever the greatest moment.
I was getting ready to say that's the best one. I mean, the characters. I just don't see the Seahawks having characters that people want to watch. I can't tell you the last year that I was like watching every episode of the Hard Knocks.
No. Folks, if you have not seen Bill Parcells telling the New York Jets to go get a snack, just go to YouTube and type in Bill Parcells plus snack. In fact, we'll put that in our on our Facebook feed, and we'll put it on our Twitter.
It was Rex Ryan.
Oh, it was Rex. Okay, you're right. Yes. Ooh, Doug, the NFL made the decision no more Monday night doubleheaders. Is that a good thing?
That's a really good thing, because usually that second game is not worth a flip, and nobody can stay up that late and watch it anyway. So, yeah, that's really a good thing.
They said that they would work those games in through the regular calendar, which I guess that means there'll be more games for your Sundays now. And then again, also with this possible Wednesday night before Thanksgiving thing coming, that's a place where a couple of those games could end up as well. Occasionally, ESPN jams things down our throats, WNBA. Joe, their NFL is launching a men's and women's pro flag football league, and the Athletic said that they believe this is going to be one of the big product launches of the second half of the decade. Why am I already dreading this?
When are they going to do that? I mean, is that a summer? Are they going to play it over the United Football League? Isn't that what that's called?
It's yes, the UFL. It would make sense. Obviously they're not going to do it during their regular product, so pretty much any time from when the Super Bowl's over until training camp starts, you think is when you're going to see your 7-7 men's and women's pro flag football.
Okay. I don't know about that either.
Well, I think you'll see plenty of it on ESPN.
Well, guaranteed.
Yeah, and commercials for it. But they won't put it in April because that's when now ESPN promotes the WrestleMania, the pro wrestling, like it's a pre-show. And the first hour is going to be on ESPN too. And I'm like, I get it. I don't get it. But anyway, I mean, they are owned by Disney, so let's present the entertainment part of it. So I get it, but I also don't get it either.
No, when they were on, I believe, Joe, it was you that pointed out that ESPN was having what seemed like a serious interview with someone talking about an upcoming WWE match. And it's like, because what kind of bizarro world have we entered into? Doug, I'm going to go to our buddy Khaled Abdallah, who hosts the fantastic 4040 Vision podcast. And he asked the question, is Sam Darnold about to get a bunch of GMs and coaches fired because they think they can go find someone off the scrap heap and win? To which the Browns owner said that he believes Deshaun still has a chance to become a great quarterback.
You just stole my last call.
Well, then let's save that. Let's go on.
Okay.
Let's go on. Blue Horseshoe, the NFL has asked the prediction markets, that's your Kalshi and your things like that, to refrain from what they call, and boy, here's another one, kind of like back to our Jack Nicholson, objectionable bets. Is there any other kind?
I was getting ready to say the same thing.
The league listed as examples: kickers missing a field goal, broadcast mentions, i.e. Chris Collinsworth mentioning Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, player injuries, officiating actions, coaching decisions, and live pick-by-pick contracts on who will be drafted as examples of objectionable bets. Basically things that one person could impact.
Okay, good luck on that. By the way, all objectionable bets, I believe one person can impact. If they really wanted to, as we found that out on the first pitch, over and under on rebounds, playing half the quarter and then being injured in the NBA.
2 Cleveland pitchers were unavailable for comment.
Yeah.
I think those were objectionable bets. So, Doug, I'm on the highway, and I get this flash across the radio that Tiger Woods has been involved in yet another rollover accident. And I had a really good playlist going, and I kind of wanted to stick with the playlist, but I'm like, well, damn, I guess I'd better listen to find out if this is something really bad. In our show notes, I just said Tiger-WTF.
Yeah, that's probably that's the appropriate acronym. Yeah, that's it. So I don't know. There's just a million questions. You can't answer any of them. Why is he always driving? Why is he always driving himself?
Thank you.
Why is he always driving? So it's unbelievable. And he just, I don't know. He had worked really hard there to push the TGL and market it and make sure everybody was seeing him, and then he comes back to play and then this. So
yeah, it seemed like he was ascending because TGL had done well. There was talk of him, coming back to Augusta and having a chance to play well here in a couple weeks. There was, talk of like the Ryder Cup captaincy in 27. I mean, it was trending up, and then bam.
Yeah. And who knows when we'll see him again? It's hard to say. He may be one of those deals where he disappears for months like he's done before.
Yeah. And Tom Mathis, our sportist who's on assignment along with Keith Farrell, brought up there's a senior event here in St. Louis in a few months. And there was speculation that this was going to be, that could have been his first senior event, which makes us all feel old right now. Do you think that he might quietly slip into the senior tour at some point? Would that be a move that he would consider?
I think the only senior event he plays is the U.S. Senior Open. I think that'd be the only one.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to say, Doug. Do you think he would go and play any senior event?
No.
Unless it was a tournament but he wouldn't sponsor or be involved with like the ones he is on the PGA. I mean, why would he go play some random?
No, I don't see him doing that at all. Like I said, I think the only thing he plays is the U.S. Senior Open, and that's because Jack won a few of them, Arnie won a few of them, so I could see him wanting to represent himself and play in that. So, but no, I don't think you're going to see him at Stiefel whatever that is. Charity
Yeah.
Classic. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it seems like just yesterday that Nick Faldo, fully in his Harrison Ford phase, was sliding that green jacket on Tiger for the first time. And as they like to say, it's come to this. So, speaking of green jackets, Doug, next week.
Next week, Masters Week, Master Preview. Yep. We'll be ready to go.
So give us kind of the schedule. I know there's the par 3. Which day is the par 3?
Wednesday. And you have to, if I remember right, you have to play in that one time. You can play as many as you want, but you have to play in that one time for every 3 appearances you make.
Okay.
So, and most of those guys don't play 18 holes Monday or Tuesday. They play 9 and then do a few things and play 9 and do a few things. So, because, I mean, yeah, they lengthen it here, they lengthen it there and everything. So, but it's the same course. It's the guys that have never set foot there that try to play 18. And it was a few years ago, I don't remember who it was, but one guy said, is his first time at Augusta. He said, the stupidest thing I ever did was try to play 18 holes Monday and Tuesday. And they played the practice round, or the par 3 on Wednesday. And he said, I couldn't even walk Thursday. And he shot like 78, 79. He's like, oh, the stupidest thing I ever did. He
was in Roy McAvoy range.
He was, yes.
The first two practice rounds. I did see that they're doing the women's this week, because that's actually on screen 5 down here, believe it or not, which was a preview of the concession prices. And folks, if you've never seen the concession prices at the Masters, it's worth finding on social media.
It's unbelievable.
They're playing the women before. I thought they always played the women's after that.
No, they play it.
Did they play
this
before?
week.
Okay.
Yeah, they always play it this week. So, and they play Augusta National twice. They play another course twice.
Yes, we will have our full Masters preview next week. We'll even look at some of the handicapping, Blue Horseshoe.
Got it.
St. Louis City was idle this past week, but they will be at New York this Saturday night. And you're like, wow, nothing bad happened. Wrong. Celio Pompeo suffered an ACL injury and will be out for quite some time. That's all they told us. So, fan favorite, exciting occasional scorer, and the guy coming off of a gruesome injury a year or so ago, Celio Pompeo, out again indefinitely.
How do you get hurt when you're idle?
It was a non-contact, by the way. It was a non-contact team drill and ACL.
Wow.
Time for a different drill.
Yeah. Don't do that drill anymore.
Let's not run that one again. Yeah. And on that note, we have reached the last call, brought to you by Black Dog Consulting. With over 38 years in the transportation industry, Dave knows where to look to find those pennies per mile that make the difference between just getting by and profit and growth. From one-truck operations to small fleet owners, he has a proven multi-million-dollar track record to help you retrieve bigger profits. If this is the growth you're looking for, contact Dave at 417-217-9622 or David at blackdogconsultingllc.net. You can also check out the website, blackdogconsulting.net. Black Dog helping you retrieve bigger profits. Joe Sperlin, what do you have?
Sometimes my last calls sometimes are things that people may not agree with. But I think with this grouping, I'm going to say something that I think you guys are going to agree with, but some people may not. But as I come in the house the other day with the TV running, it was on ESPN First Take. And Stephen A. Smith and that Mad Dog guy are the worst things on TV ever, in my opinion.
Unlistenable.
If that would be punishment. If you said if I had to sit there and watch them all day, I would just rather drive a nail through my eye. So there you go. And as I say sometimes on these last calls, and that's all I've got to say about that.
Well, Steven's going to be elected president here in a couple years, so that'll get him off. That'll get him off ESPN anyway.
Hopefully that gets him off ESPN. I'll have to admit I've not watched it in a few years now.
Oh, I haven't either. But like I said, it just happened to be on, and I can't even tell you what they were screaming at each other about. But I'm like, my God.
Yeah. That's just I make a point to avoid. It's one of the few shows I truly make a point to avoid.
Oh,
and I'm pretty successful. Douglas, what do you, I think I know. I think I accidentally stumbled on yours, but go ahead.
Well, there's these owners that are really good owners, and then there's the owners that are blockheads. And the guys that are blockheads usually get a lot of attention, and they seem to be in the NFL. But how is Jimmy Haslam not the biggest idiot of all the owners? If you're a Cleveland Browns fan or season ticket holder, I'm sorry. But for him to stand there and say Deshaun Watson has a legitimate chance to be quarterback number one, he's played in the last 5 years, he's played 19 games. So, and maybe they had to get Todd Monken to find a coach who would play. So I just, those owners get ridiculed for doing stuff. And I mean, if any guy needs to get ridiculed, it would be him over saying that.
I worked for a company once, and we were hiring an advertising agency, and I didn't know this, but like after they presented to everyone, the vice president kept them around and asked them one more question, which is, here's what I want to do. Can you make this sound like your idea? And I feel almost like, oh, by the way, one question. How comfortable are you with Deshaun running the show?
Yep.
Hey, put him out there and he'll get hurt, probably, is what they're wanting or hoping.
Well, I don't know what this means for the future of Shador, but I'm sure. Now there's where your Hard Knocks should go right there.
Well, true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, for my last call, who among us doesn't like a cold, refreshing soda at a baseball game? Well, if you happen to be a fan of the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers, who I have up on screen 2 right now, and they're losing to the Cleveland Guardians/Indians in the top of the 7th, 2-0. If you were watching that Dodger game over the weekend, the Dodgers introduced a new plastic cup at Dodger Stadium. It was a limited edition Shohei Ohtani souvenir cup, and it was made to look like a uniform with a textured feel. Ooh, pretty deluxe. Joe, that might run you like $15-$20 or something, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wrong.
No.
That would run you $74.99. But guess what? You would get free refills for that game. Not the season. That game.
Did you say for life or
no? $74.99 for that game. Now, the price sparked a social media firestorm. I shouldn't say firestorm in Southern California. Outrage. It sparked outrage in Southern California. Look at us being politically correct. And the refill policy was changed to season long. So there you go. You save a total of like $6, and you get the rest of the season. Okay, that's a better deal. If you go to a lot of games at Dodger Stadium. So just a regular fountain soda was $12, by the way, in case you were wondering. So, but if you are an economical person, after 6 refills, the cup justifies it from a usage standpoint. But then get this. So the Ohtani collectibles have exploded. And by Sunday, several of these cups were listed on eBay, and 2 of them sold for $250 each, and a third sold for $290.
Free refills.
We've all lost our minds.
Free refills.
It's a lot of Coke.
It was a very, very thirsty Dodger fan.
Or you could go to Big Mac Land at Busch Stadium and bring your family of 4 for all you can eat.
I think that's much more effective because you get, all the food and stuff. By the way, Jimmy Snuggerud in his Rookie of the Month, 7 goals, 8 assists, and a plus 14 rating.
There you go.
Because we know plus and minus is such a passion of some of our listeners. Is someone's house on fire? Okay. You never know what's going to happen on the same.
That's Christy. She put something in the microwave. Sorry.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's quite a relief.
Hey,
Sorry.
talking about that soda, got her said, you know what? I'll have a soda and a popcorn.
Oh, yeah. The power of marketing. So, on that note, Joe Sperlin, thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Hey, I like always getting to visit with you guys, especially when it's the AVA.
Doug Lansdowne.
Yep. We'll have a national champion by this time next week, and hopefully a little Masters preview, and it'll be fun.
It's one of the best times of the year, and we hope that you will join us next week for all of that action and more on the St. Louis Sportists Podcast. And until then, take care.
And that wraps another episode of the St. Louis Sportists Podcast. Please like and subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest episodes. You can find these guys on all major podcast platforms. And thanks for listening.